Someone gets it now. Your silence made a statement. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Someone gets it now. Your silence made a statement. Now, somebody drop in the comments and say, I bet you hear me now. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I bet you hear me now. See, that person, right, whether it was a family member, a friend, relationship partner, marriage partner, co-worker, y'all already know this person, all right? Listen, y'all, this particular person you explained so much to where it began to turn into overly explaining, right? This particular person you compensated so much with into, understand something, it turned into overly compensation, right? And this person you communicated with, it turned into over communication. And see, what you don't realize is the more you talk, the less people hear you, right? The more you try to get a person to understand, the more discombobulated they become. And that becomes an overdose situation, right? See, you thought that you can only overdose on something going into your body or your bloodstream, or what we all seen on television, drugs, right? You know, we seen so many artists, unsung artists, the ones who was in the 60s, 70s, all the way up to the 2000s, right? We're seeing them overdose. Well, family, you can overdose on a person. You can overdose on love. You can overdose on food, right? See, too much of anything is bad for you. You can have nothing but vitamins, water, vegetables, fruit, and you eat so much of it, it can kill you. Yeah, I know, y'all. It can kill you. It blew my mind when I seen a person, drown off of just drinking water. If you drink so much water, you can drown yourself. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? But anything in moderation can be good for you, all right? Can be good for you. Now, obviously, I'm not saying do cocaine in moderation, because at some point it's going to pick up, and at some point it's going to, be bad for you. But the point is, y'all, anything that is done within moderation it's a high probability that it can be good for you. And so the reason why I'm saying moderation, y'all, is because whenever you communicate in moderation, that's good for that relationship or friendship. Whenever you compensate in moderation, that's good for that relationship, friendship, or that whatever ship is on, right? Anything done in moderation. Y'all know I have a dog by the name of Pia. She gonna be famous after I get through talking about her. But y'all know I got Pia, and and this goes out to anybody who have a dog. You can't give them a treat every 5 minutes. It has to be with purpose. It has to be with value, and it has to be because they've done something. It's not to say that you're big me and little you in them, right? Or you're being a dictator, but you have to train a dog in the way that they should go. It's very similar in training a child, right? You don't just let them go to the movies, or let them eat their favorite dinner, or let them do whatever they want to do just because they want to do it. It needs to be some value, meaning, and purpose behind it. And that's the same thing, y'all, with your conversations, right? That's the same thing with the people who you decide to have in your life, right? Anything that you say, it should be with purpose and meaning, all right? And say it within moderation. Stop telling them that you're going to leave so many times and you never leave, right? Stop telling them what you want and what you demand so many times and they still get away with it. You follow what I'm saying, y'all? But when you give them your silence, when you give them your silence, y'all, that's when they hear you, because they slowly begin to get it now. Make sense of what I'm saying? Last thing I'm going to say about this, y'all, and then we'll get into this video. But when you are on your journey of becoming your higher self and the new version of yourself, you begin to give them doses of it, right? You don't just give it to them all at once. It causes an overdose, right? But if you give it to them little by little by little, they won't even notice that you've given them all of you. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? And that's how you have to do it with this situation, right? Do it within moderation. Give them little by little. But over time, they'll realize that, okay, this person is dead serious, right? That's why certain people don't do certain things cold turkey, because they do what, y'all? They run right back to it. right? They start back doing the drugs. They go right back to the person they broke up with. They go right back to the family that's been dysfunctional and toxic their entire lives. They go right back to it when they do cold turkey. But when you start weaning yourself off of something or a person or a thing, you have a better chance of staying off of it, right? At least from my experience, right? Unless it's something that's literally killing you. The doctor say, hey, you're gonna have 30 days to live if you don't stop eating watermelon. I'm pretty sure you'll stop doing watermelon. But by and large, y'all get the point, okay? But anyway, family, let's go ahead and get directly into this video. All right, y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. All right, as y'all can see, y'all, we are not on the Great Couch, but we are by the Great Couch, and it's still a legendary spot. Okay, getting a little late start today, y'all, but it's mainly because I've been working on this Rich Mentality Academy. All right, I'm trying to get all the courses right for everybody. I'm creating these tabs. I'm creating excessive videos so y'all can, have a understanding of how everything works. So that's why we're here a little late, y'all, but y'all already know what we do. We're going to get it in regardless. But with that being said, y'all make sure y'all join the Rich Mentality Academy, as soon as possible, y'all. I'm really excited for this thing to be up and running. But anyway, y'all, let's get right into it. Number one, you demanded respect. All right, you demanded respect. Now, this is what happens, y'all, when someone finally get it. Okay, it's because they realized how loud your silence has been, and now it is demanding respect. Listen, y'all, it's very scary when you stop talking. It's very scary when you stop being so kind. And here's the funny thing, y'all. Just because you're not being kind doesn't mean that you're being mean, right? That's the crazy part about this whole thing. Just because you're being kind, it doesn't mean, or just because you're not being kind, it doesn't mean that you are being mean. You're just neutral. That drives a person crazy. See, as supposed to, let's just say you were being mean, right? They'll know that you still have some type of emotional connection with them or to them. They wouldn't know that you still have some type of feelings, towards them. They wouldn't know that you're doing it, out of spite, which means you're doing it with reason. You're doing this for a reason. But when you're just neutral, I'm not too mad, I'm not happy, I'm just in the middle, it throws them off because they don't have any emotion to feed off of. See, what happens is, y'all, these people begin to feed off of our energy. So when you pissed off, they become pissed off. When you're happy, they're happy, right? When you're sad, they act as if they're sad. But when you're neutral, you don't give them anything to feed off of, right? And so it causes you to demand respect. I worked with a lady, y'all, by the name of Miss Claudia. She was a Hispanic lady, right? And she was very nice, y'all. She would bring Hispanic candy to the job, like the little mango suckers with chili powder around. She would bring like Hispanic pastries and stuff like that. And I would just notice how people did not appreciate, the things that she was doing. And again, granted, y'all, nobody asked for a mango sucker. Nobody asked for a Hispanic pastry. I get it, right? But when a person is doing something out of the kindness of their heart, the least you can do is say, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, right? But, she would leave the things on the table, and people would just, just walk off with it. People wouldn't say thank you. And I'm talking about once they seen her face to face, they would not say anything. And I would just sit back and be like, man, couldn't be me, man. But the point is that I guess she began to realize that they're not really appreciating it. I guess she began to realize that they don't deserve, my heart, my kindness, my hard work, and me just being nice, to people who are buttholes to me. And so she stopped bringing it, and as time progressed, maybe it wasn't the next day, maybe it wasn't 2 days after that, but like a week or 2 weeks after that, they started noticing, hey man, what the Hispanic lady at? She ain't bringing the pastries and the candy no more, right? Well, that's because y'all wasn't appreciating it. But you see how when she stepped back, it began to demand the respect of the people, because people don't realize what they have until it's gone. And I know I say this so often, y'all. I know I say it a lot, but it's so true. People do not realize what they have until it's gone. And so on those breaks when they wasn't bringing no lunch, when they ain't have no money to go get some Popeyes or Church's chicken, then it came in handy. Like, hey man, where she at? Hey, she gone. She ain't bringing no more pastry. She ain't bringing no more Hispanic candy. Sorry about that. Hey, you got to go to work with a rumbling tummy. I'm sorry about that. But the point is, y'all, is that it demanded respect. And that's the same thing with yourself. You demanded respect when you allowed your silence to talk for you. All right. Number 2, y'all. And next thing, before I get to number 2, let me say this, y'all. When people get divorced, this is crazy, but when people get divorced, they stop talking. It's all about talk to my lawyer, talk to my attorney. And you're talking about people who've been talking and communicating for 15 years plus, 5 for years. And now we got to communicate through this system. You see what I'm saying, y'all? It's crazy. But that will demand a person's respect. They don't talk to me no more. Talk to my lawyer. Silence. I don't got nothing to say to you. Makes sense of what I'm saying, y'all? It demands respect. Number 2, it de-escalates a situation. That's what happened, y'all. It actually de-escalated a situation, y'all. Now, what I mean by de-escalation is it took a situation from 100 to 0. A person can't argue by themselves, right? You cannot argue by yourself. I don't care how much you try. I don't care how much you attempt to. I don't care how much you hope and pray and manifest an argument with someone. If a person is not saying nothing, you can't argue with them. It's just like a person being inside of a boxing ring. If it's only one person boxing and the other person is not, that's an automatic win. You can't box by yourself. It takes 2 to tango. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. It takes 2 to tango, because it sincerely does. All right. Your silence made a statement because it de-escalated a situation. Right. I was just talking about provoking spirits, y'all, in one of my videos on Instagram. And, basically I was saying that a provoking spirit, they provoke you on purpose. They pull all your strings. They push all your buttons. They're trying to push you to turn into a bad person, to turn into the person that you despise, turn into the person that you hate, right? This is why you have to be around people who pull the best out of you. If a person is pulling the worst out of you, this is a clear indication that they're not your person, right? I'm not saying things are going to be perfect, but what I am saying is a person should try their best to pull the best out of you. It should not be a bad situation. It should not be I'm going to get this up out of you. It should not be just because you respond this way or just because you do something that they dislike. Now here it is. I'm going to pull that beast out you. It should not be that. They should be trying to strengthen your weaknesses. They should be trying to uplift you, motivate you to become better, to stay off the drink. The list goes on, y'all. But when you are silent, you begin to de-escalate a situation. You ever see how they act when the situation went from 100 to 0, right? It's like they become ashamed, embarrassed, because they arguing by themselves, right? Oh man, hit the person with the God bless you, I love you. God bless you, I love you. You will expose a demon in a person. I promise you will. Tell a person, God bless you, I love you. You will expose the demon in a person, because they don't want the situation to be de-escalated. They want it to go all the way to 100, right? Just so they can blame you in front of the police, a counselor, your friends, your family, their family, whoever. They want to make you look like the bad person. But when you let your silence make that statement, you de-escalate a situation. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Are all these situations on social media where the man is beating the dog crap out of a woman, or a woman is popping his tires and busting his windows because a person helped them lose their mind, and then that very person who helped them lose their mind called them crazy? Understand something. If they would have allowed their silence to make that statement, it would have de-escalated the situation. It would have de-escalated the situation. And this is how it works, y'all. So now they get it. Okay, this person don't want to argue. But when you keep telling the person, I don't want to argue, and you end up arguing, they don't take that serious. Make sense, y'all? Number 3, reflection. All right? Reflection. Reflection is when a person get to see the wrong that they have done. Sometimes, y'all, it take them a few minutes, a few hours, a day, a few days. Sometimes people need a whole month to a year, even years, to reflect. All right? Here's the thing, y'all. Reflection is just holding up a mirror to who you are. Imagine being a father, right? And I'm gonna pick on the men for a second, because we have to control our anger. Because you got to realize, man, we are leaders, man. We leaders. The woman look up to us, kids look up to us, even the dog. We are leaders. So you have to have a level of emotional intelligence, period, right? I ain't saying you perfect, but this is something that we have to work on. But anyway, when it comes to a man, let's just say he had a terrible day at work, he pissed off, and the first person who comes to his face is his wife. He dismiss her. Kids come, dismiss the kids. Then the dog come, dismiss the dog. And everybody is just like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with him? And here he is, he just snapped. Somebody done left the top off the toothpaste. Somebody done left the top off the ketchup. Whatever. Somebody done bust this drum. Whatever, y'all. And he just snapped. I guarantee you, if you hold up a mirror to his face, he'll hold his head down. You know why? Because he's going to feel ashamed. That is what reflection does. Reflection makes you feel ashamed. So if they are the only ones arguing, they're going to feel ashamed. If they are the only ones yelling and throwing things, they're going to feel ashamed. It may not be the same day. It may not be the same week, month. It may even be another year. But they will feel it, because reflection is when you look at who you are in the mirror. You're going to see that monster, that demon, that spirit. You'll see it, right? Number 4, y'all, is nonverbal communication, all right? It is nonverbal communication. Y'all, when you are silent, that is speaking without having to speak, okay? Let's just say a person texts you, and you don't text back. If you see them in person, if you see them in real life, they're going to have a few words to say to you. If a person call you and you don't call them back, right, and they see you in person, they're going to have a few words to say to you. Reno, I didn't say nothing to them. That's the point. You were silent, right? It's nonverbal communication. It's like telling a person F you without having to say it. It's like telling a person, hey man, I don't rock with you without having to say it. Okay? It's nonverbal communication. And many people miss that. All right? Y'all, even when it comes to, let's just say a guy trying to approach a woman, she has already given you the nonverbal communication. What was that? She was turned, right? She had closed body language, right? She acted like she was on the phone. You still walked your smooth Maurice Chestnut wannabe over there and got rejected. But she had already given you the nonverbal communication signs. I'm closed off. I'm acting like I'm on the phone, right? I got closed body language. I really don't want to talk. I'm my head down. I ain't even made eye contact with you. And you just think that you finna get your Maurice Chestnut on, and no, right? But that's the point, y'all. Nonverbal communication. You got to pay attention to the cues and the signs, all right? Number 5, y'all, last thing is emotional disconnect. This is what happens, y'all. Emotional disconnect, all right? See, the reason why they're getting out is because you've officially disconnected emotionally, right? You have to do that. This is when nothing bothers you. This is when you don't care if, and I hate to say it like this, y'all. I hate to say it, but you don't care if the dog died, grandma died. You don't care if they get hit by a bus. You don't want these things to happen. Let's make this clear, y'all. You don't want these things to happen, okay? I'm going to say it once again. You don't want these things to happen, right? But sometimes people will use their tragedies to reel you back in. All right, like I said, y'all, it's not about you being heartless. okay? But sometimes people have tragic things to happen, and then they'll call you up like, hey, oh my God, I just got shot in the back. Oh my God, I just lost all my money, or my mom died. And here's the thing, y'all. You feel sorry for them, and you have that empathy for them. You're very empathetic towards them, but it's something in you that says, I just can't go back. It's surreal, right? You are the fish, they're throwing you bait, and they're the fishermen, and they're reeling you in with their drama. They're reeling you in with their negativity. They're reeling you in with their sadness. They're reeling you in. You ever been around a person, they don't never have no good news? Everything is terrible. This person died. This person went to jail. I lost this. I don't have that. I can't get this. It is all bad. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Even the 48 laws of power states this, right? But the point of what I'm saying is, y'all, when you are emotionally disconnected, your silence make that statement, right? This person should be able to send you a booty naked picture, and you still be like, have a great day, right? It should not move you or sexually arouse you, okay, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, okay? Just because they're going through something, it shouldn't move you to run to the rescue. Again, I know it sounds terrible, it sounds bad, but this is the point where you have to get at. And if you're watching this video right now, chances are that's where you are right now, okay? They get it now. They get it, or else they would not have gotten it, right? But with that being said, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all join the Rich Mentality Academy, y'all. All right, I'm waiting for y'all to get over there. Y'all go meet your tribe. T-shirts are in the same position. Books are in the same position. Everything is pretty much the same, but y'all be sure to join the Rich Mentality Academy for these new courses I have for y'all, all right, including the social influence course. But I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.